Well, Tom, just kind of address the elephant probably in the room. See Austin DeSantos listed on the probable lineup for this weekend. Have you uh, decided what's going to, or how the lineup is going to be at 133 between him and Trevor and against Ohio State?
Have we decided? I mean, both guys are great options, and our number one guy is Austin DeSanto, and we haven't decided because funny things happen in life. I can't guarantee it. So, how's that for a teaser? I would say this. I would say that we're going to put our best lineup on the mat.
Tom, the next question from Cody Goodwin.
What went into the decision to bring Colin out of redshirt?
Well, Colin's a second-year guy. It's not even close to being the same decision as bringing a guy that's been here for 3 or 4 months out of redshirt. There was dialogue. He's a very, very important part of our present and future. We love the guy. We know he's capable. Not a hard decision.
Next question from KJ Pilcher.
Yeah, Tom, 133 is the only either or. Is the lineup really starting to kind of take form, kind of the way you envisioned it at the beginning of the season, how it would be for the stretch run, pieces being in place?
Well, there's one piece that's missing at 125. His name's Spencer Lee. But as we go forward into the things that we can control moving forward, Spencer Lee's doing great, by the way. But the things that we control moving forward, we're just going to put our best lineup on the mat, and it's no different than back in early November or mid-November when we started this venture. The difference is that we're in the middle of the season, so it's important that we're getting our pieces more in line with what it's going to look like. The 10 guys that we put in the ranking pool are the 10 guys that you could guess. Everyone in this call could guess. That doesn't mean that they're gonna be in the lineup every week.
Next question, Tom, is from Ross Barticek.
Tom, how would you, kind of rate your team's performance this last weekend in Illinois? There's a lot of good performances out there. So, what did you kind of see on your team in general?
There's individual matchups that you always look for and key for. We had a big win against Northwestern at 149. Mirren, it doesn't have to be that close. I don't think I gave him enough credit immediately. That's a big win. We got to be more ready to go, those types of things. So we're getting better. And even, I could go and talk about some other individual performances as well. But the really where we're at is that we're going into probably a more balanced lineup team. The state of Ohio State wrestling, they line up in wrestling. We have an Ohio presence in our lineup with Alex Marinelli. That's a big Ohio presence in our lineup. That's probably one of the more interesting matchups. If I'm a media guy or a fan with this Karcha. And so there's a lot of Ohio there, and we got to be ready to go. We're going into a place that they're proud, and they just built a new facility. They've been in it for a couple of years, and they take pride in defending their home turf. And they also take pride when they go on the road. I'm not saying they don't, but we know what we're going into. And when things are important at places, it's an automatic, the hair on the back of your neck standing up just a little bit more, getting ready. And that's not meaning that we're downplaying other opponents. That's just how life is. That's how life is. You see a kitty cat walking down the street, you don't pay it no mind. You see a grizzly bear coming your way, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. And there's a difference there with the territory that we're going to these next couple of weeks.
The next question, Tom, is from Chris Werner.
Hey, Coach. Yeah, I remember in the beginning of the season, you said you were really kind of impressed with Assad's preparation for this season. Just how would you grade his performance thus far?
Werner, what's up? You know what? Here's the thing. I just got done talking to the Big Ten Network, and you know what I said about Assad is that he's coming on. And, you know, you have certain guys in your lineup that wrestle themselves into shape. And then you have certain guys that are like fanatics all year. And, you know, they're never really out of shape. And you just get in that peak, tip, top shape. And the guys that wrestle themselves into shape, that's more like an European type thing, or a Russian or an Iranian, you know, type thing, where you wrestle and then you peak. And we're to that time of year where, you know, these guys that wrestle themselves into shape, they're getting better, and it's noticeable. So I think he's still getting better, to answer your question. And you know what? We love him. Just like we love all our guys, we just love him a little bit differently based on his personality. I have some really fun conversations with Abe Assad. He's always been someone that, you know, I jive with. You know, I think that we could have been pretty good friends if we were contemporaries and we wrestled on the same team together. I think he's a pretty cool cat.
The next question from Cody Goodwin.
We talked with Abe in the preseason about how when you're on the bench for a year like he was, nursing his injury, that there are things you can pick up and learn. Where have you seen him maybe make the most strides just in his wrestling after that year off?
When you're healthy your whole career and you get nicked up, and even if it's not major, and you're in like the experienced people's minds, medical people, coaches, people that have been in the sport for a while, it still freaks you out. And he never really had the experience of dealing with an injury that was like a nick, but it nagged. It nagged and it nagged. And not saying that it wasn't serious. It was serious, but it wasn't like a debilitating season-ending type thing. And I think that's probably where, you know, he's really, you know, his trajectory has moved the way that you want to see guys move. And it's not that he's a tough guy. I mean, Abe Assad is a tough guy, but when you don't have that experience with an injury, you know, sometimes it can freak you out a little bit and there's doubt. And so that's probably one of the things that, you know, him sitting, maybe looking back and realizing that, you know what, I could have done that. It really wasn't that bad, even though at the time, you know, it was significant enough to where it caused him to miss time, and it was legitimate. But just having the experience of the adversity and then having to deal with it, that's what I would say. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
See ya.